What's going on, YouTubers? I'm Kevin080115, and this is Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode 3 review. Alright, so this every episode that goes by is just getting more and more crazy. Like, Walt is getting more and more demonic. And, I'll get to what happened at the end in a second, but, um, you know, starts off with, Mike going around, everybody who's locked up that were his guys is going around making sure they haven't said anything and making sure they will not say anything and making sure they get a bit of money to hold their heads over. Um, Walt decides to move back into his house, and Skyler's like, "Do you think that's a good idea?" He's like, "Yeah." So he, he's he wants to get his old life back, but at the same time be the kingpin of this highly uh, political drug run. Anyway, they went and found a lab. Saul took them to a bunch of different places, and even took them back to the laser tag place. And it was like, and then Walt gave Saul a look, and he's like, "All right, we'll go to the next place." And they eventually settle on this roach bombing company. They send these families out of the houses, and they set up. They put tarps and stuff over the house so none of this shit gets out when they bomb. And Walt's like, you know what? This would be a great place to do it. When they bomb houses, they keep the families out for a few days to at most a week, and this would be a great way to do it. We cook in there right before they bomb. So when they bomb, the smell of it will, get rid of the smell of the meth. And they decided to start cooking, and I believe they made almost 50 pounds just off of one batch, off of one cook. And there's Marie. She was eating lunch with Skyler, and she's like, "Oh, Walt's birthday is coming up. We should do something." And Skyler's like, "I don't think we're gonna do anything." And then she's like, "We have to." And Skyler went to go light a cigarette. She's like, "You can't smoke. Have you been doing this around the baby?" And literally, for the next 30 seconds after that, it was around 30 seconds, if not a little more, Skyler just repeatedly kept saying, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut the hell up! Shut up! Shut up!" And it was pretty funny, I thought. Anyway, they end up making. It's actually funny when Jesse and Walt are done cooking. They sit in the living room of this random person's house, that they're cooking in, and they're watching the Three Stooges drinking beers. And he's like, "Listen, man," he's like, "if you're really serious about Andrea and Brock, tell her everything. Believe me, you don't want secrets between you two. Trust me, I know, and we all know he knows." So he said, "If you trust her, I trust you. So if you trust her enough to tell her everything that you're doing, I trust you enough to, to trust her." So he ended up saying, he ended up breaking up with Andrea. I don't know how that's going to play out, but as of right now, they're broken up. So Jesse isn't seeing Andrea anymore. Marie came over, and she said she flipped out everything. Flipped out. She had a mental breakdown, and I'm not gonna leave, or I'm not gonna leave until you tell me what's really going on. So he said that. He's like, okay. He's like, well, Ted Beneke got hurt. He's like, you might never walk again. And he's like, he looked at Marie. He's like, "Oh my God, you really don't know." And she's like, Skyler was having an affair with him. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I mean, it wasn't nothing too serious, but a couple times, yeah." And he said, "We're trying to, put the pieces of the puzzle back together and all this stuff." And she was just so shocked by all of it. And he asked Marie not to tell Hank because he didn't want Hank to think any less of Skylar or him. So Marie's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go, and he's like, okay. And then he looked down the hall, like he was pissed at Skylar or something. And she had her door closed. She was lying down, and he just went into the kitchen, grabbed an apple, and took a big bite into it. And anyway, we'll skip right to the end of the episode. Mike took care of selling the drugs business, as he said he would be taken care of. And I believe they each got like 300, no, like 600 something thousand each, I think, or something like that. And because now he's the kingpin, he's got to pay people. He's got to pay mules. He's got to pay Mike's workers. So a good 5,000 of that was gone.
No, it was like more like 500,000 of it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
500,000. I'm sorry. 1/5 of it is all he had left, pretty much. You know, he was like, you know, this is ridiculous, and he's like, listen, he's like, this is how business is going to work from here on out. You're going to have to pay my employees, which now are your employees. He's like, that's how this works. He's like, that's how Frayne did it. That's how you're going to do it. And he's like, you know, pretty much, he was bitching because he was like, oh, well, Frayne made so much more money. And he's like, look, just because you shot Jesse James, don't make you Jesse James. And, you know, he took, you know, all the money. They each had to give up their own cut for employees. And Mike left. And then Walt told Jesse, he's like, listen, he's like, I'm starting to think that when Gus killed, forgive me, I don't remember his name, the guy at the end of season, or the beginning of season 4, I believe it was at the beginning. What? Angelo? That ain't right. If I heard it, it would be right, but that ain't right. Anyway, the guy that got his throat slit with the box cutter by Gus in the first episode of season 4, he's like, you know, I'm starting to think maybe he wasn't doing that to send a message. You know, he cooked all that meth on his own when he was paying us. He's like, maybe the bird flew too close to the sun and ended up getting his throat slit for it. And he just gave Jesse that look. He's like, I don't know. And then he left. And Jesse just like looked on like, what the fuck? And you know, just this is what I think. I think what he pretty much was saying is, if Mike keeps pushing me, if Mike pushes me, I'm gonna slit his throat or I'm gonna kill him, something like that. I think that's what he means. So what did I say earlier? Remember I said, I can't remember what it is now. Fuck, I had a great idea for next week's episode, like something that could happen, but I don't remember now. But anyway, that was the episode. Next week's episode, you see like they pull out a barrel and it's got like a wasp logo on it, and the one lady looks at it. She's like, "Please tell me that is not what I think it is." I don't know what she's talking about. We'll find out next week. But Gus brings the Heisenberg hat back. I mean, not Gus. Wow. Walt brings the Heisenberg hat back. You know, he puts it on. You see him shave his head, and you see blood just rushing down his head. Guess he didn't know how to shave it right. Next week's going to be, looks like it's going to be even a crazier episode than this episode was. So, that's pretty much it. For this episode, definitely 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was really good. And, probably going to stay up to watch the 12 o'clock episode, the encore. So, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys next week for Breaking Bad. Until then, I will see you guys Monday. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow because I'm gonna upload another video. Tomorrow, I'm losing track because I'm uploading so many videos these days. But I think tomorrow will be the my top 5, either my top 5 or DVD review. But I'm pretty sure it's my top 5. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until then, later, dudes!